Hi, I'm Kat. In 2018, I quit my job as an air traffic controller to set off and tour the UK and Europe in a motorhome. And one of the skills we've had to learn, both my husband and I, is how to balance working from the road and travelling. I now manage 3 blogs and I have a YouTube channel and all the social media that goes along with that. And my husband has always run his company whilst we've been travelling. That's one of the main reasons we were able to set up in the first place. But it is not always easy, and we've made loads of mistakes along the way, especially with 2 of us working from the road. So today I want to share some of the tips and tricks that we have learned, especially the 3 most important things that you need if you are planning on working from the road, so that make your life a little bit easier. If you are new to the channel, hi, welcome. It's great to have you. If you enjoy what you see here, we'd love it if you subscribed. And if you find this video helpful, a little thumbs up is always appreciated. Right, let's dive in. When you're working from the road, there are 3 important things that you really need. One of them is Wi-Fi, one of them is power, and the other one is a structure or a plan so that you don't go absolutely insane. So this morning we're aiming to fix problem number 1 on that list, which is Wi-Fi. The club site that we've just been at, it's Sandringham Caravan and Motorhome club site, and it's beautiful. The area is stunning. For the dog and everything, it's fantastic, but there is no phone or Wi-Fi signal whatsoever. And they do have Wi-Fi on the site. Most of the Caravan and Motorhome clubs have a Wi-Fi on the site, but it doesn't let you upload stuff. So it's more than enough to kind of browse Instagram or Facebook or even check emails. But if you want to upload Instagram story, or if you want to send emails with attachments, which is what I need to do this morning, or you want to upload a YouTube video, the Wi-Fi, the club Wi-Fi is restricted, so you can't do any of that. Oh, it's so slow, it's ridiculous. So we are doing what many people who work from the road do, and we're going to go find a place with Wi-Fi that will allow us to do some work for a little bit. And actually we're aiming for Mcdonald's. Mcdonald's is normally good. Wetherspoons is another good one. We used that yesterday just to get some Wi-Fi and some cheap drinks, like a Wetherspoons, because it's refillable on the old tea and coffee. Cafes are always really good. So yeah, I'm saving myself. I'm having to cook breakfast in the, well, sleep, it's like -3. And we're going to go grab a breakfast and do some work at the same time. So that's one of my biggest tips when you're working on the road, is make sure that you have Wi-Fi. If you've got it in your motorhome like we do, we have a system called Wi-Fi on board, and they have a fantastic dongle, which they've just upgraded to 5G actually. But we've used that all around the UK and Europe, and it is superb. Now the second thing on the list, power. Power is so essential, so essential. And my big top tip for that one is to charge things as you drive, and then have some sort of power bank and inverter. Now the 2 are totally different. An inverter charges things as you drive, so it allows you to convert the power made from like the 12-volt system or the battery system, and put that into charging your 230-volt devices like your laptops or your drone batteries or anything like that. And then the power bank, which I recommend that you charge as you drive, but the power bank is then for when you're not driving, you're not going anywhere, and then it allows you to recharge the devices that you're using. So the lovely folks over, apparently Mac is being involved in this video, the lovely folks over EcoFlow sent me their River to try out, and this is the Mac, so it's a 600 watt version, and I'm really excited by this because it has got loads of plugs for things that I actually use as opposed to random stuff that I don't use. Now, obviously, I'm in a camper van at the moment, and when we started and planned this trip, we were going to be spending an awful lot of our time off-grid. Now, I'll be honest, the weather has gone down to -2, it has become bitter, and we've spent an awful lot of time on campsites. But I have used this pretty much religiously to do all of the things that I would have charged with anyway. So my laptop and my phone and the GoPro batteries and my latest acquisition, which is an electric blanket, 85 watt electric blanket. I'm so excited about that. Are all being run off the EcoFlow. So the thing I love is it's got 2 230 volt proper electric cables, and you can use them both at once. The little button is hidden by one there, and that's how you turn it on and off. You've got to remember to turn it on and off. I forgot this for the first time, and I thought my laptop was charging and it wasn't, which was really frustrating. It's really solid, but it's not crazy heavy. It just feels really sturdy, like you can move it around. I'll be honest, the dog's climbed over it a few times. So this is what it looks like turned off. What's nice, actually, before I turn it on again, is like it's still charging stuff while it's turned off. This big pink lead here was charging my phone, although I'm now using my phone to film. But it charges even while it's turned off. But bear that in mind, because obviously if it's off, you can't see that the power is being reduced. So this has been pretty much charged up now, and we charged that as we were driving. You can see that it's got a little 99 in there, and all it's charging right now, because the GoPro batteries are pretty charged, it's got 54 watt output. And you know what's got 54 watts? This thing is the only thing it's on, 54 watts, which means that I'm going to get 11 hours. I'm going to get 11 hours off my electric blanket with nothing else going on my EcoFlow. And honestly, 11 hours will do me very, very nicely. So, to show you that this thing works, and I'll be honest, I'm sorry, the angle of this is not made. There we go, let me prop this on a knee. So, it's on, what is it on now? 53 watts. And my electric blanket is on setting 1. I've turned it up to setting 3. And it's gone up to 98 watts output. I'm looking in the wrong bit, sorry. Gone up to 98 output, which has dropped it down to 6 hours. It's not bad. I'll take a little bit of heat for 6 hours, but no, I take lesser heat for 11 hours. Let's do the medium setting, which is 2. I can see 11. That's come back. So 2 is on 55 watts as well. I'm loving this. So it is also charging my laptop at the moment. Let me unplug my laptop. What's it gone down to? 45. I hadn't realised it was that. Let me unplug. It's not charging my phone. My phone's not plugged in. But let me unplug the GoPro. Yeah, the GoPro battery charger. 45 watts on an electric blanket, which will give me 13 hours of heat on setting 2. I'm gobsmacked by this thing. This is the light. The light is quite bright and useful. That's on 1. That's even brighter. And then you've got like an emergency beacon, which is really, 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 really useful. And the reason I love these power banks is when I'm working from the road all the time. I work outside the van, obviously not on days like this when it's -2 and snowing, but whenever I can, I like to work outside, sit outside, I can throw the ball for him. And having one of these, you can easily move it. It's way lighter than most generators. You can easily move it to sit outside with you. It's silent. I mean, it's on right now, heating my electric blanket, which is still on my lap, and it's still warm, and I'm still very excited by it. I apologise for the makeupless video, but this heated blanket has been on all night. It's down at 53%. Now, admittedly, I've just turned it up onto 3. I've had it on 2 for most of the night, so it's down there. But it worked. Oh, it worked so good. And the dog hasn't moved. In fact, the dog has now wiggled into my spot on the bed. It's been so good. Because look what happened outside. Oh, I'll get a better video. Oh my God. This thing is my precious. And then the third thing on the list is having a schedule or having a structure. And this is something that, honestly, we didn't do particularly well the first year or 2 that we were working from the road. And what I mean by that is, so when we went up to Norway, for example, we had about 6 weeks to explore Norway. And what we didn't do was assign working days or even working half days where we knew that we were going to be working then. And that caused a bit of friction because I wanted to go off and explore. My husband had to work, or vice versa even. And what we do now, for example, when we're going to America in a few months' time, we have actually in our schedule planned out working days so that I'm not planning a 4 or 5 hour drive on a day where we've got a half-hour day's work. And that allows both of us to know, okay, I can deal with emails and a bit of social media every day. We do an hour or 2 every day in the morning and a little bit of the afternoon as well. But I've got a good block of sort of a morning there where I can get some actual proper work done as opposed to just keeping things ticking over. And that's really important, I think, for both myself and my husband. We both work as we're travelling, and that's for our peace of mind, and it's really, really useful. So I really recommend you putting together some sort of schedule. Now, depending on how often you have to work, will depend. It might be every morning of the trip you're going to work and then use the afternoon to explore. One thing I would say is have a little look at the weather forecast as you're doing it. When we were in America, we've had to say mornings for work because obviously the UK, that's the afternoon in the UK. So for my husband, he needs to be able to talk to people in the UK, so he's going to be working mornings. But I can guarantee there are going to be at least one day where the morning is beautiful weather and then it rains in the afternoon, and in an ideal world you'd have the flexibility to change. So if you've assigned a morning for work but the weather forecast says it's going to rain in the afternoon, then swap it over if you can. But of course that's going to depend an awful lot on your work and how easy it is, and if you've scheduled in calls or anything with people. But definitely having some sort of set schedule will allow you to relax and enjoy the time that you have got, because after all the whole point is that you actually get out and see the country that you've travelled all that way to, rather than just sitting in a van and working. So those are my 3 top tips for working from the road. Make sure that you've got decent Wi-Fi or a way of getting internet. Make sure that you have got decent power and a way of charging the devices that you use to work on, and make sure that you set some sort of schedule up so that you're not constantly thinking about work when you should be trying to relax, or vice versa, relaxing too much and not getting the work done that you need to. I hope you found that useful. If you're new to the channel, by all means hit subscribe. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you on the next video.